All right, welcome back to the channel. I'm here today to talk about Ultimate Offering, which has been seeing a lot of popularity lately because James Ark recently won Beast Mode Sticker Series 9, playing a zombie deck featuring Ultimate Offering. Now, this made a lot of sense to me because as someone who's played zombies a good amount in Edison format, one of the things I realized about it as a weakness to that deck is that it cannot deal with losing tempo and not being able to establish two monsters on the field. It requires that you end up with two monsters to do basically anything, right? So a goblin zombie by itself, or a pyramid turtle by itself, or a diva by itself, they don't really do anything. But once you get two of those cards on the field, you can start to do your combos and go off and pretty much either overrun your opponent or OTK your opponent that turn. Needing two monsters to do anything is one of the reasons why I believe that Black Wings do so well against the zombie deck. So in general, Black Wings want you to commit cards to the field. If you put two cards on the field, that's the magic number because then you can be Icarus attacked. Also, a lot of Blackwing decks play Royal Oppression, which is very good against zombies because again, if you synchro your Plague Spreader zombie and your Goblin zombie into a monster, then you consolidated your cards into a guy that just gets negated altogether by Royal Oppression. And the same can be said about decks like Diva Hero. You know, they require two monsters on the field to do anything as well. But then that deck has the benefit of playing Miracle Fusion, which is a one card, summon a crazy guy, an S tier boss monster. That being said, I do think Ultimate Offering fixes the zombie deck's main problem because I do think zombies is one of the best decks in the format, but when it only draws one monster, those hands are really, really bad. And sometimes when it draws too many monsters, those hands are also bad because you can only get one out per turn. Ultimate Offering allows you to literally break the game and just normal summon as many times as you want. So a basic combo that you can do is normal summon Goblin Zombie, Ultimate Offering, pay 500, extra normal summon Deep Sea Diva, Diva get Diva, Synchro Goblin Zombie and Diva, make Brionic, search out Mizuki, this is all very basic, discard Mizuki to bounce something, then banish Mizuki to summon Goblin Zombie again, Synchro for, let's say, Goyo Guardian, and then search out Zombie Master, then you can pay 500 again to extra normal summon Zombie Master, discard a card to bring back either Goblin Zombie, or if you have Plague Spreader Zombie, you can discard Plague Spreader to bring that back, and just keep on continuing to combo from there. And already that's 2300 plus 2800 plus 1800 plus 1100. Coincidentally, that's exactly 8000. So 23 plus 28 plus 18 plus 1100 is exactly 8000. If you start to add in things like Book of Life or Dark Arm Dragon or whatever, it gets out of hand. Also, I just think things like normal summon Goblin Zombie, Ultimate Offering, tribute Goblin Zombie for Caius, that's kind of absurd too. When you think about it, just being able to burst out a Caius like that, get a search, you can search Plague Spreader Zombie, then you can also extra normal summon a Plague Spreader Zombie and synchro into like Stardust Dragon, for example, which will protect the Ultimate Offering, and then set a bunch of traps. So there's a lot that you can do. Another benefit to running Ultimate Offering in a zombie deck is that Ill Blood is not a brick. Usually, if you play this card without playing Ultimate Offering, it's just an awful draw. It sticks to your hand like a Titanial, and myself, Beast Mode, Stango, everyone who's played around with the zombie deck has tried Ill Blood and has all had the exact same results where you kind of just draw it a lot and it's really frustrating because outside of discarding it to the graveyard for something, it's not really going to get played that game if you draw it. You're meant to search it off a Pyramid Turtle, but when you play Ultimate Offering in your deck, you get to circumvent drawing it because now you can do crazy combos with it. Now, when it comes to gadgets, Gadgets is the most obvious, the most basic version of why Ultimate Offering is good in that deck. You play 9 gadgets, and literally you can just summon a field of them. Because they replace themselves, you don't really lose anything by committing them all to the field like that, and it's a shit ton of damage. Fun fact that a lot of people may or may not know, but I actually used gadgets, Machina gadgets with Ultimate Offering, 45 card deck at SJC Edison in 2010. I got a feature match, I believe in round 2, and I ended up placing 35th or 36th place. I was X2, and I did not top because of tiebreakers. That would have been my first ever YCS/SJC top, but I missed it by a little bit, but don't worry, we got the W at the end of the year, and I won the YCS at the end of that year. But yeah, I have a special soft spot for Ultimate Offering because I believed in it 13 years ago, which is so wild how things come back and how things change over time. But the problem with the gadget deck that zombies don't have to deal with is that gadgets just have a very low ceiling. So the deck isn't necessarily like awful, but modern Edison format, your deck does need to do a bit more than normal summon a gadget. Like even when I look at a gadget player's card advantage, I don't think that is necessarily real. I'm not really intimidated by seeing them with a 6-card hand and like a couple guys on the field, because I know that some of the cards in their hand are gadgets. Even still, it is one of the best decks to play Ultimate Offering in, and it makes complete sense to play it in that deck. I think that Solidarity and Ultimate Offering in the gadget deck are incredibly scary. It turns all of them into basically cyber dragons. It makes your matchups against Black Wings and Hero Beat a joke. Like literally one Solidarity ruins Black Wings and Hero Beat. They cannot deal with your guys all being normal summon 2000 monsters. The only thing that they have as a benefit when you have Solidarity up is that they can be bottomless, but that's not even really that good unless you're killing the gadget player quickly while their field is open. I know recently at the In Real Life RBET, a gadget deck, I'm not sure if there was more than one, but I know at least one gadget deck made top 8 playing Solidarity and Ultimate Offering and all the fixings. So really glad to see that popping back up in the meta, and maybe more people will continue to play gadgets going forward. But yeah, Ultimate Offering in that deck, it's very good. It's very scary. It'll make you think twice about, you know, blind MSTing or blind Dust Tornado or Wing Blast or whatever on a back row. You might want to wait just to make sure that they don't try to Ultimate Offering and OTK you, because that can just happen out of nowhere. But okay, so that's where Ultimate Offering really shines. Now let's talk about where it doesn't really make sense. So some people have this idea, and this has been kind of a meme for a while. I don't think anyone's really tried to execute it until now. And I'm all for experimentation. So don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing people who have tried this. I'm not mad at anyone for trying this, because ultimately, in order to figure out what's good and what's not good, and also how to break metas, you have to be willing to try things that sound crazy, that might sound stupid to other people, and eventually you might stumble onto something that actually makes sense and actually works really well. But Black Wings. So Black Wings is a deck that I consider to be overall the best deck in the format, not by some crazy large margin. Otherwise, this format would be called Black Wing format, and it is not. It is called Edison. So Black Wings is one of the best decks, but the reason why it's one of the best decks is because it plays some of the most outrageous cards like Black Whirlwind. And everyone who thinks about Ultimate Offering and Black Wings, of course they think about, oh, if you have Whirlwind, Ultimate Offering makes your guys gadgets, and then you can just summon a field of them and OTK your opponent. And that is true. The problem is you're already winning any given game where you draw Black Whirlwind with the Black Wing deck. You don't need anything else, to be perfectly honest. That is already too much. The card advantage generated by Black Whirlwind is insane. It is one of the easiest win cards in the format. It's like you sit down, you win the die roll, you go Whirlwind, Ensure, or Bora, or even Kalute honestly is enough, and things start to get out of hand because Black Wings actually have effects unlike gadgets. So when you turn them into gadgets on top of their Blizzard's effect to bring back a guy, or Shore's effect to beat a guy in battle and summon another monster, or Bora's effect to pierce, and then also now it can search out a Blizzard or a Kalute. Like, that's not okay. They already have effects that are very real. Like Sirocco has a very real effect. The fact that it's also searching a Bora or searching a Shura is insane. But again, you're already winning the game if you have Black Whirlwind up. Now let's consider if you don't have Black Whirlwind up, but you have Ultimate Offering in your Blackwing deck. What's like the best thing that you can do? In my head, I think about normal summoning multiple Blizzards in one turn, but then that means you drew multiple Blizzards raw because you don't have Whirlwind. And technically you could swarm the field really quickly, which you can do in any deck that plays Ultimate Offering. But what's weird about that is that most of the Blackwings actually just have an effect to special summon anyway. Like your Boras, your Gale, they naturally just have an effect to special summon while there's a Blackwing on the field, and then Value from the graveyard allows you to special summon a guy from the extra deck. So in terms of flooding the field, Blackwings already do that naturally. Like Ultimate Offering doesn't fix any problem in terms of that. What it does do though is, and everyone knows this, Blackwings have a hard time dealing with summon stoppers, so bottomless, torrential, trap hole, stuff like that. And Ultimate Offering could technically get you over that hurdle. If you normal summon the Shura and they go bottomless, you can then normal summon something right after that with Ultimate Offering. But again, without Whirlwind, that's not exactly the craziest thing that you can do. And you don't gain card advantage with your normal summons in the Blackwing deck, except of course Blizzard. Blizzard is a +1, but a lot of times you end up consolidating it anyway into a synchro. So in general, it doesn't have that same feel that the zombie deck has when it gets extra summons, because it generates card advantage. Zombies normal summons generate card advantage, and so do gadgets. Blackwing normal summons, they are cards that generate a lot of damage, like Shura, Bora, Sirocco. It's a lot of damage in that deck, and that's how it wins a lot of its games. But it also wins by just having defense and making big pushes. So if you were in a game state where you had Ultimate Offering set and you had some guys on the field, you really need to protect them, it will kind of suck to just have Ultimate Offering instead of, you know, a Deep Prison or a Book of Moon, because I'm not really sure what you'd be cutting to play Ultimate Offering. Maybe you cut some number of Icarus attacks, which I don't really agree with, but people like to do that now. Maybe you don't play Book of Moon at all. Maybe you don't play Deep Prisons. Something has to go, right? Because you still have to get the deck down to 40 cards. You want to draw Whirlwind still. So you want your deck to be as small as possible. But if you're going for an Ultimate Offering strategy, then yeah, something has to go, and it's going to be most likely something defensive. I also think that if I were to play Ultimate Offering in Black Wings, it would not be pure Black Wings. It would have to be the hybrid build with Dark Griffer. That makes a lot of sense to me, because often you'll come up with the decision where you have to go, do I want to summon a Blackwing this turn, or do I want to summon Greffer this turn? And Ultimate Offering will allow you to do both. So decks that play a lot of monsters, I think Ultimate Offering is just a lot better in them in general. Or decks that are combo heavy like zombies, it makes sense too. Imagine going normal summon Greffer, pitch value, send Sirocco from the deck to the grave, banish, summon Armwing, and then your opponent, you know, they go bottoms, whatever, and you're like, okay, pay 500. I'm going to now normal summon Ashura on top of that because you have a guy on the field, and now Ashura can attack, get a value, and then, you know, Greffer can attack, and then main phase 2, Synchro, make Android. Like, stuff like that is actually really, really cool, because you don't have to choose between, do I want to do a Blackwing play or do I want to do a Greffer play? You can just do both. So I do like that. But again, just like the Blackwing decks that played Nobleman of Extermination, they're going to lack a bit of defense for a bit more aggression, and that could be good. But you can't forget the fact that Ultimate Offering is a trap card, so it does have to be set a whole turn in advance. And in a Blackwing mirror match, Ultimate Offering is just going to be Icarus attack food. That is just the facts. It's going to be a card that gets you Icarus attacked for free, and your opponent can just wait until you pay the 500, so you also lose life points in that exchange. And in the Blackwing mirror match, your life points matter a lot. So just some things to think about. But yeah, keep experimenting with the card in general. See what you come up with. I like Ultimate Offering a lot, but I just wanted to have this conversation about it because I see a lot of people trying it out in all these different decks, and some of them make sense and some of them don't. I think that if you do want to try it in something like Blackwings, you have to completely change how the deck is built, and don't go with a conventional Blackwing deck, take out 2 cards and put into Ultimate Offerings. I don't think that that works. You have to really rethink the deck. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.